welcome back to another quick list. I'm your host, Eric Fitzgerald. So today, we're going to have a little fun. These days, Broadway relies a lot on movies to create a lot of their Broadway shows. We've seen from the most recent hits that came out, Smith, Mrs. Doubtfire, for example. So today, let's have a little fun with this one. I'm going to give you 10 movies that would make good Broadway shows. Not only that, I'm going to give you who should do the music, and I'm also going to give you who should star in it in a lot of the leading roles, or more of the well-known leading roles. And here's the rules on that one. I'm not going to use the same person for the music twice, and I'm not going to use the same actor twice. Let's say that these are all running simultaneously and they all hit Broadway at the same time. So let's go ahead and have some fun. Here are 10 movies that would make really good Broadway shows. Before we get started with the quick list, here is an honorable mention for a movie that I mentioned in my last video. Toys, starring Robin Williams. This one's a fun one. This one actually, the music is designed to be a musical style. I mean, listen to this one song real quick. Listen to a clip from this one song real quick. And tell me this wasn't designed to be for a movie, or for a musical. Okay, for score, let's go with Duncan Sheik, who did the music for Spring Awakening. And for the stars, let's go with Alex Brightman as Leslie Zebo and Brian Stokes Mitchell as Leland Zebo. Okay, now to get straight down to the list. Number 10, Mr. Holland's Opus.
Of all the lives he changed,
I would like to dedicate this song to my son.
the one he changed the most was his own. Siskel and Ebert give it 2 thumbs up. Richard Dreyfuss, Mr. Holland's Opus.
Let's go with, because of the music type, let's go with Andrew Lloyd Webber. And starring in it, let's go with Norbert Leo Butz as Glenn Holland. And let's go with Kerry Butler as Iris Holland. Number 9, Dick Tracy. I am surprised that this was never turned into a full Broadway musical, similar to City of Angels and Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. So let's go with David Yazbek to do the music. To star in it, let's go with Brian Darcy James as Dick Tracy, Lexi Lawson as Breathless Mahone. Let's go with Andrew Reynolds as Flat Top, James Monroe as Big Boy, and let's go with Andrew Feldman as the Kid. To Wong Fu, thanks for everything, Julie Newmar, about 3 drag queens on a trip to California to go to a huge competition, get stranded in a small little town and turn their lives around.
Sacred mission. Let's take this message from Miss Newmar with us across the land.
For this one was actually supposedly workshopped a little bit ago. Let's go with, for the music, let's go with music by Lin-Manuel Miranda. And for the cast, let's go with Raul Esparza as Vita, Bob the Drag Queen as Noxzema Jackson, and Lin-Manuel Miranda as Chichi Rodriguez. I think those 3 together would make a stellar cast and probably a Tony winner. Number 7, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Tomorrow.
A force from the future
Can we go anywhere we want at any time?
You can do anything you want.
is putting history at their fingertips.
Let's reach out and touch someone.
They're traveling through time.
Now, for this one, it is almost perfect for somebody like Eddie Perfect, who did the music for Beetlejuice, to do the score for Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, to bring comedy and drama to the music and just out there with the way that he did the Beetlejuice score. For the casting, let's go with Michael Cerevas as Rufus, Alex Boniello as Bill S. Preston Esquire, and Ben Platt as Ted Theodore Logan. I think those 3 right there is almost spot on perfect. And I know a bunch of fans for Bill and Ted out there. Let me know if you guys agree with the casting. Number 6, Peach Dragon, a longtime favorite of mine growing up.
A newfound friend, and live it up with the funniest, most lovable dragon alive.
Let's go with Alan Menken, who did all the music for Little Mermaid and most of the Disney movies. And then for the casting, let's go with Jake Ryan Flynn as Pete, Jen Colella as Nora, Neil Patrick Harris as Doc Terminus would be perfect. And then let's go with to team with him. Let's go with Josh Gad as Hoagie. I know Hoagie's normally a little small, timid type, but I think Josh Gad will bring a very different role, different sense of comedy to it. Number 5, 54. The longtime story of Studio 54 and how it came about
was definitely 54.
Ryan Phillippe, Salma Hayek, with Nev Campbell and Mike Myers. 54.
For the score, Henry Krieger. To the star in it, this part is almost perfect for Christian Borle. Christian Borle is Steve Rubel, the club owner. Number 4, The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
So what are you going to do when you get out of this place?
I really want to be a writer, but I don't know what I'd write about.
You could write about us.
Call it Slut and the Falcon. Make us solve crimes.
For this one, let's go with Jason Robert Brown, who did the music for the last 5 years and Songs for a New World. And for the cast, let's do Kyle MacArthur as Charlie, Mallory Bechtel as Sam, and Jordan Fisher as Patrick. Heavyweights, a fun Disney movie about a bunch of kids who go to fat camp who get taken over by a crazy personal trainer that was portrayed by Ben Stiller in the movie.
Turned it into a nightmare.
With the story, let's go with Seth Rudetsky, the guy who did the music for Disaster. Again, very comedic, very fun, very all over the place, different styles. And then as Tony Perkins himself, let's go with Jonathan Groff. Number 2, Bicentennial Man. Taking place in the future, it's a movie about a family that purchases a robot as a servant, which was portrayed by Robin Williams in the film.
Creativity, curiosity, friendship. Good night, sweetheart.
Good night, Andrew.
It is a household appliance.
Let's go with this one. Let's go with Tom Kitt, who did the music for Next to Normal. Yeah, Tom Kitt would be perfect. Definitely with his tones and what plays on the drama and the realism of it. Let's go with Tom Kitt from Next to Normal. For the cast, let's go with filling Robin Williams' shoes as Andrew Martin. Let's go with Jeremy Jordan as Andrew Martin, the robot. And then let's switch up the cast a little bit. Let's go with Samantha Williams as Little Miss, Norm Lewis as Richard Martin, and in a fun little part that was played by Oliver Platt in the movie, let's go with Roger Bart as Rupert Burns. And then finally, number 1 on this list, let's go for Battle of the Sexes. The story of Billie Jean King versus Bobby Riggs' historic match, man versus woman in a tennis match. But the story that leads up to the match itself is really funny about how over the top Bobby Riggs was to stay relevant.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put the show back in chauvinism.
Bobby's a clown. This whole thing's an act for him.
Business, sports, you name it. At the very top, it's a man's world.
It's when we want a little bit of what you've got. That's what you can't stand.
40 million people are watching. The battle you've all been waiting to see.
No, I'm done talking. Let's play.
The battle of the sexes.
Let's go with, for this one, let's go with score by Lisa Korn, who did the music for Fun Home. I think she could capture a lot of the drama and the comedy in this one. And then for the casting, let's go with Sutton Foster as Billie Jean King, and then Patrick Wilson as Bobby Riggs. So there we have it. There are 10 movies that would potentially make really good Broadway shows with multiple different casts and multiple different composers out there. So if any of you guys who are on Broadway are watching, which probably none of you are watching, why don't you guys go ahead and let's get started and start producing some. All I need is the producer's credit. That's it. You need to pay me. If you guys enjoyed this list, like, share, and subscribe. And hopefully I'll come back to you guys again next week. Talk to you guys later. Have fun.